Welcome to the Wheel of Self-Love Meditation and Training, a Happiness Hacks video. I'm Shawn Mashy, life shift mentor and author and developer of the Symmetry of Happiness theory. Knowing a quick and complete path to finding for yourself your own innocence, and then moving into an unshakable level of trust in yourself and in the unfolding of life exactly as it is, can change your entire existence. When you start to live in a place of self-solidarity and stop turning on your well-meaning self, even around something as small as how you managed your time or what you said or even what you ate, you will also stop projecting that painful internal system onto those you love. So life starts to look like a manageable and friendly and fun place, a place where everyone's best efforts are recognized. The 3 steps in this wheel of self-love are so simple, so common sense, and so reliable that people can often experience freedom from an intense, long-term sense of guilt or regret just by walking with me through the steps in this short video. So I hope you'll take the time for yourself, as the should have story is one of the most painful lies we tell ourselves. I lived in the hell of the should have story and regret and self-doubt for much of my adult life until I came upon these simple steps, and I have really enjoyed living from a new place and sharing this with thousands of people that have also been helped by it. If you spent much time beating yourself up, second-guessing the choices you've made that led to your current situation, or plunging into the hell of regret or guilt and the anxiety and self-doubt and indecision they spawn, then you've come to the right place. So let's get started. I'd like you to find a situation, large or small, in your life where you wish you had said or done something differently. Even if you're not in that place about anything right now, imagine the hell of regret that you have lived with anytime you believe there was a better way. Find a situation, and feel free to stop this video anytime. This is a meditation, a self-inquiry, where you're turning inward and looking to see your situation from a completely new perspective. So take your time. Visualize the consequences that you fear from that situation, from that action you took that you now regret. Imagine those consequences, or imagine what actually did happen if something did seem to come of that. And notice how you turn on yourself, how you leave yourself. Use your logical mind to catalog, just list in your mind the outcomes that you fear. What are the worst case scenarios that emerge? And just witness the endless should have loop as you hopelessly try to rewrite history. Just feel the pain of blaming yourself. The more you actually allow yourself to go there, the more it can be turned around and things can be cleared by this wheel. So the first step is, when you find yourself in regret hell, the antidote is to reconnect to your own innocence. Ask yourself, what was I thinking then? Instead of oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Come from a place of real curiosity. Wow, let's see. What was I thinking? Go back and be with the you that was doing the best you could in that moment. Who were you? What was happening? What were you believing? Notice that you did not actually choose to believe this. Whatever it was like an unconscious convergence of mental programming and reactions to stimuli. See that once you were believing it, you could not have acted any other way. That was your entire picture of the world in that moment. You couldn't come from some other place that you can only arrive at later in hindsight. And then go a little deeper and look into your motives. Find the spark of self-love. Discover how you were always acting out of love or a wish to help. And that includes the instinct to protect yourself when you believed that your happiness or survival was at stake. So this step is about reconnecting to your innocence. Here you get to move into a new sense of self-advocacy, support and forgiveness, experiencing a warm compassion for the well-meaning you that acted in the very best way you could, given what you were believing in that moment. Really be there, be with yourself. Realize that even underneath the worst of behaviors, you can always find a loving motive, a wish to help yourself or another. So forgive and cherish yourself like never before for that. Then, as you find forgiveness for yourself, you can move into step 2, which is that you may still then fear that you have sabotaged everything. That despite the fact that you see that you were doing the best you could and things couldn't have really unfolded any differently than they did, you still fear the consequences. So the way out of that is to ask, what am I fearing now? Maybe you even thought you were acting in a rather good way, moving forward, just believing what you were believing, and then someone was mad at you, or the outcome was different than you had hoped for, and then you turn on yourself and start beating yourself up. What is that moment, that shift? What did you start to fear that made you go into regret or guilt? Ask yourself, what am I thinking now? What was I thinking then, and what am I thinking now that's leading to this current state of pain? And then find that you'll be okay no matter what the outcome. Notice the thoughts you started believing that plunged you into regret hell. Accept that your mind can't know that any given outcome will or will not happen. Ask yourself, can I absolutely know that that's what's going to happen? And you'll get no. Our minds cannot predict the future and tend to go often to the worst place or go into other people's thoughts and feelings about us that are outside of our control. But even when you get that part, you may still be fearful. Yes, but what if it does happen? What if this worst case scenario does unfold? So that's the freedom that I've been able to get with this, is to always go ahead, openly take myself to those worst case outcomes and help that littlest part of me help it get some freedom from those scary beliefs. Take a look and realize that we can't know what is a good or a bad outcome, what is really meant to be unfolding in any given moment. Realize that those worst case scenarios could yield best case outcomes or hidden payoffs or benefits for yourself, others, or the planet. Even in the saddest, most tragic situations, some other outcomes that we may never even know can happen that are so much beyond the scope of our conscious intellect. And also, the part of you, it's time to start to love the part of you that goes in there and beats yourself up. Find that there is a spark of self-love there too. You can move into love by thanking the kindergarten motives, the wish, the belief that you can help yourself by beating yourself up. So see how those parts of you that are behind all the self-criticism and the pain truly believe they are saving you by screaming, "You did it wrong." So thank them and then still help them see a happier way of interpreting the situation, which starts to change everything moving forward. Your life can become a very different place as you get hold of your innocence and relax into the truth of not knowing. Let your self-protective instincts become right-sized as you turn the outcomes over to something greater than your monkey mind. Trust that you cannot absolutely know what outcomes will ultimately be better for you, others, and the planet. And then you can move into step 3, which is where it may still be, though, that you're concerned about someone's reaction to you. You feel you maybe have hurt someone, and you want an outcome that may not show up. You're waiting for this resolution that will prove to you that you are blameless or that your actions were okay. The relief that you're looking for is still tied up in events and others' behaviors, in situations or in variables that are out of your control. So if you feel you still need life or others to prove to you that you're okay, then you become the one that you've been waiting for. Ask yourself, what do I want from others and from life? Make a list even and of what it is you wish would happen that would relieve you, and then give that to yourself. Imagine, go into what it would take for you to feel like everything is okay, and you can not only move on, but receive the gifts of this situation. Give that, whatever it is, to yourself. No waiting. This is where you finally stop telling that littlest part of you that your okayness depends on the actions or perceptions of others or on life events that are out of your control. So again, this step involves noticing the specific aspects of your survival or happiness that you place outside yourself. What is it you wish others would say or do that would make it all better? What would life need to give you to prove that you're okay, just the way you are? Write it down, and then start to find ways to give it to yourself. Notice how you're the one who has abandoned yourself. The approval never did need to come from them. The ultimate disapproval that sent you into this level of pain came from within you. So what was created from the inside can be cleared up from the inside. That is really good news. Celebrate that this is between you and you. And here's where you get to live the spark of love. Find ways to give to yourself what you thought you needed from others or life. Look for actual action steps you can take. For example, when I was beating myself up for thinking I had driven away some potential clients through an email I sent out. And when I listed what I wanted from them, it was that I wanted them to believe in what I had to offer, to be willing to invest in the changes that could happen as a result of my coaching, to love everything that came out of my mouth or that I wrote. And when I saw that that's what I needed to give myself, I needed to invest in myself and in knowing what I had to offer. I needed to love what was coming out of my mouth and stop trying to change myself to become whoever I thought they wanted me to be. I needed to believe in myself no matter what. So do that, where you show yourself another way of thinking about this, another way to treat yourself that comes from the inside, that doesn't depend on anyone else. Be your own hero. Be what you want from them. Stay by your side no matter what. Love what you have to offer. Cheer yourself on. Invest in you. Never give up on you. Realize that none of the consequences you fear from life or others are worse than what you have been doing to yourself. So that's, in a nutshell, the Wheel of Self-Love. Most of that is written out here on your PDF download, and yet you don't have to get it out or carefully read it or memorize it. It will start to live as a way of life whenever you find yourself beating yourself up. You'll start to go in and ask, what was I thinking when I said or did that thing? And reconnect to your own innocence. And then you can say, well, what am I fearing? And you can relax into the peace of not knowing, of not being in charge of life, of trusting the outcomes. And to say, well, I should have showed up that way because I did. That's the reality of it. And when you get really stuck, it's really helpful and important to go ahead and do a full-blown inquiry in the work of Byron Katie, where you really drop in and find all the pieces to allow this shift out of fear and into peace, and to turn everything around and give yourself what you want from others and from life. And when this happens, what emerges is what I have found that I call a deep inner well of self-solidarity that I never had before. It's a place of belongingness to yourself, of finding the part that you've always wanted, someone to say to you, you belong to me, I belong to you. I always see the good in you. There is nothing you can do to drive me away or have me turn on you. You get to be the one that gives that to yourself. So as you think about what changes that would make in your life, you can go even further and get these dependable shifts into self-love that will happily affect your way of showing up for yourself and for others. So I'd like to let you know that I have a little ebook that I've written that goes even more deeply and helps you get these shifts for yourself. You can get that Spark of Self-Love ebook and have it there anytime you need a shift. And the really amazing thing is that folks who purchase this will get what I think to be a life-changing bonus, a fun, intimate, and free self-solidarity strategy and support session with me. We're also going to offer if you look below this video, you may also see a link for the Radical Relationship Relief Self-Shift audio series, normally $97, but when you download the Spark of Self-Love ebook for only $7, then you also get that, which is not just about self-love. It's about when you feel the problem is outside you, when it's the relationships, when it's other people's behaviors that you're judging and having a hard time with. This helps you know exactly how to turn each piece of that pain into your path to freedom and peace. So for now, though, if you're ready to stop berating yourself and you want to apply this tool for clarity and self-solidarity, this ebook, this 30-page illustrated ebook, is a transformative companion for life. It's there for you anytime you find yourself in the hell of regret, self-doubt, indecision. You just get to breeze through it. What it tells is the story of how the wheel of self-love changed my life and the lives of others. You get to get very clear about how to use it to efficiently transform regret and guilt in your own life and the chronic self-doubt and indecision that grow from them. The examples and the theory in this book show you how to use those painful states as your own tailor-made path to living and loving from a place of confidence, power, and unconditional prosperity, all of which grow out of radical self-love, the investment in yourself to know how to shift your own painful states. It's the gift of a lifetime. It was for me when I realized that. So if you want to invest in that greater peace in yourself and your loved ones for only $7, just click the button below this video to purchase the book, and then you'll have instant access to it. And from there, you can also grab a time for this self-solidarity support and strategy session one-on-one with me as a bonus with this valuable purchase. So whether or not you do take either of those actions, I just want to thank you so much for being here, for bringing more peace into the world by listening to this video and having a sense of how to find your own innocence. That reconnection to ourselves exactly as we show up, I believe, is at the crux of all spiritual journeys. And from there comes love and connection to all others in our life as well. Take care.